Hey, Laura, Racky, let's just start.
Okay.
There's nothing happening in the world, is there?
Is there?
No, there isn't. We're back. I don't know what episode we're up to. Maybe 13. Lucky 13.
Our lucky 13.
That's one of my lucky numbers. What are your lucky numbers?
9.
Okay. Why?
6.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
25.
Is it every number?
No.
25 is a good number. I like that. 11, 13, 7, 10, 22, 44, 33. 2.7.
And you're telling me it was every number. You had far more than I did.
There's two things you need to know about me. I don't play by the rules. I don't play fair, and I never tell you what I'm going to do next.
I don't know about... You definitely play fair.
Do you understand what I said? There's two things about me, and I just gave you 3. See, you're not playing fair already. That's an Alan Shoreline. Come on, help me. All right, let's just start again. So, why don't we start again as I mean we roll on. We've got fun things to talk about today. It's been a very long week.
Give me a break.
We have had a very long week, but a good one. It's been some, some swings and roundabouts, but we've got a few things we want to talk about today. And I think, we don't have a format broadly, so why do we need to worry too much about it? But I've thrown out the format that we don't have.
And
I've written down on my little notes.
I think because you, for some reason, think we need to have a format, and I am never prepared. So
no, you don't like doing any preparation, which is fine. You like winging it, and that's okay, which is odd because you're so prepared in life. You're a winner in life. And the idea of going into something and winging it would be...
I would say no, but winging sort of speaking things, but you think I wing it, but things happen in the back of my brain when I don't seem like anything's happening.
Oh, no, I'm petrified by your brain. I'm in awe of your brain. I don't know. You're amazing. Okay, so I've got a note here from you that says something about long hours and sacrifice and career goals.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in understanding what that means and what you think you're getting. I mean, you're telling people those can work.
I know we've talked about this before. I think more in the context of talking about younger people, and there's a time in your life when you can go hard.
Yep.
But I thought it was worth speaking about again because I recently put a post up where there was a post where I was talking about how to switch off at the end of the day.
Yep.
Because someone had asked, how do you switch off? And I said, well, sometimes you've got to just pick a few things that you will not stop work until you get them done.
Okay.
So that you can be calm, feel clear for the next day, basically. Yep. And there was the comment that basically said, so you can't do it or you can't get ahead unless you work long hours or extra hours. So off the back of that, I had a conversation around, no, sometimes in some professions, some organisations, if you want to progress, if you want to get ahead, you've got to work some long hours sometimes. You can't, you sort of said you can't slap the laptop closed at 5 o'clock and throw your phone in the river if, at the end of every day, if you want these opportunities to come to you.
Yeah.
If you want to develop.
Yeah.
But
so there's a ceiling on your progression in seasons.
And it's been interesting. Like I knew that
what kind of response did you get? Yeah.
Look, it's been pretty measured. A lot of people were quite like, thanks for saying this. And I think that's, like Kim said, nobody wants to work these days. It's sort of, I think it's like a hush-hush thing for some reason, this reality. And again, and I said this in the post, like not everyone has to have these ambitions.
Yeah.
And these desires to be something big and great and make heaps of money.
Everyone views, let's say, work and career differently.
Totally, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think the misalignment here is that there is some expectation that you can log in at 9, log off at 5, not be available, not go the extra mile, not be invested, and think that you will get the stratospheric progression that you're expecting.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, well, that, it's like a race to the bottom. If everyone's working late, it becomes the norm.
That's true too, right?
And why can't we progress and get ahead within working hours? And I sort of thought about it, and I think I would actually offer the alternate question, which is, why would you expect significant career success and financial gain doing the bare minimum?
Yeah, I think that's the misalignment between input and outcome but they, and both ends, on all ends of the spectrum, is a problem.
Totally. And look, two things
Yep.
that I'd like to explore. The first is I don't believe that it should be an organisation's MO that everyone's working late and weekends all the time, every day, right?
Yeah,
that is a
agreed.
resourcing
Agreed.
problem. Someone's making too much money at the top.
Or the business is not viable.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So
if it requires hours and hours and hours of overtime, yes.
as norm.
Tick.
Okay.
Yep.
The second thing is I'm really cognizant, again, we've talked about this before, that there is a lot of young people, I think globally, who feel that it doesn't really matter how much they progress, that even if they sort of got, I suppose, more senior in whatever field they're in, the income they would be receiving is still not going to be enough to get them ahead.
In a lot of cases, they're right.
So they're going to be on this hamster wheel for what? And so the mentality is just, I'm not going to give it my all. I'm going to come in, do my job, and then I'm going to focus on the outside of work, enjoyment and pleasure and
Because the
enrichment.
incentive set is different to, pardon me, previous generations.
So I totally get that too.
Which is also right.
Correct.
So if a business model relies upon stealing people's home time and not recompensing them for it, as an ongoing thing, then that's not where you want to be, obviously. Other side of the coin, what we were just saying, that young people are looking at it and going, well, why would I put in my 50, 60-hour weeks when I'm in my 20s if I know I'm no chance of getting there anyway? They're just going to keep moving the goalposts further away from me. They're both very realistic questions. So I understand you're not trying to get a resolution here, but what do you think is your core message out of all this?
So just with those caveats, because we've got to put the caveats. The messaging is, two things. First, third caveat.
Oh, another caveat.
If you don't,
have we not even started the subject yet?
If you don't care, if you don't have the driving ambition, all of that, cool.
Yes.
No issue. No judgment, no nothing. It's everyone's got their own race to run.
But
if you want to progress, if you want to be seen as a leader in your organisation, in your industry, if you want to be a rainmaker, if you want to make a whole lot of money, guess what? You got to do things that other people aren't doing. And what does that mean?
That's the key.
Working hard. That means there are going to be times that you need to work late or come in early or work through your lunch break or
travel.
Or travel or work over a weekend. This is required, or do things outside your job description.
Yep.
And if you can't get your head around that, firstly, if you're in an organisation where none of that will be recognised, then fine, right? But
that's right, then don't do it. Yeah.
Don't do it. But most organisations are looking for that in people, and they do want to see it before they will progress you.
Yeah, look at the top 20 or 30 people in the organisation and look at their background, see what they've done. They've moved states, they've moved cities, they've worked weekends, they've worked nights. Now, obviously, this comes at a trade-off. We have to accept that. And so you want to ideally be doing this heavy lifting before you have a whole bunch of commitments in your life. But if you think you can skate to the upper, the odds are against you.
And look, I mean, my background, I've had mid-tier and top-tier law firm experience, and certainly what comes with that, or what came with that at the time, was a lot of long hours. I think that things have changed a lot. I know Fair Work has penalised some firms, and there's some sort of,
rightly. It was too far.
Again, when this is like the MO, where it is just like everyone works overtime and late.
It's part of the deal. It's a rite of passage. Yeah.
And then it ends up with young lawyers getting paid like less than minimum wage, basically, for the hours they're working.
Yep.
I'm on board with that not being okay. But if you are working in a business and there are deadlines, in a law firm, there are deadlines, court things, urgent stuff pops up for clients. I mean, what do you expect? What do you really think that you are going to demonstrate your capacity and your commitment if you just like peace out every day and never sort of rolling your sleeves up and getting in with the team and getting things done for your clients, for the team? Like this, I don't know.
Can I try and sharpen this up a bit?
Yes.
If you have a career expectation that you're driving for, you are going to need to pay a disproportionate price. And it is unfair in one way, and it's fair in another way, because as you get further up a hierarchy in a market, or it gets more competitive.
Yeah.
And those that are willing to do more are willing to do more. If you're a boxer, The person who's doing 30 hours more training a month than you, you're going to run into a problem.
Yes.
Right? And you're going to land where you land in the hierarchy. So, of course, I agree with you. Anyone credible agrees with you. But then there's like all these side, like I say, caveats, all these side issues splash out, like, you know, companies could be so much more efficient in the way they deal with their staff, and they could price better, and industries could be better run, and all these things that sort of like wash up into it. But the bottom line is this: if you are X and you want to get to Y, it's going to take a disproportionate input from you to get there.
Yep.
Do you think that's fair? Am I catching it right?
Yes, that's fair. No matter what, there's not going to be.
Unless you get super lucky, or you got a super talent, or you're in like you got a disproportionate advantage somehow.
But what CEO or owner of a business that's making the big bucks and is at the top of their game is walking in at 9 and leaving at 5, throwing the phone in the river, not being doesn't exist.
You heard what I said the other day in the office when I said the reason. This is dangerous waters, but anyway, I think, my opinion, the reason that 90% of CEOs of bigger companies are males, and not more than any other reasons, certainly not competence, is that the men are more willing to sacrifice their family to get to the top.
Yep. Their relationship with
their family, yes, at every turn.
Yep.
And there's a less societal pressure on them, for sure, for males to be able to say, for men to be able to say, I've got to travel for a job posting for 3 months. You look after the kids, right? Where societally that's much more difficult for women. And also women are smarter than that. They understand that the trade-off is not worth it to get to the top.
Not all women.
Not all women, right? But I mean, I think most people would say the trade-off's not worth getting to the top, the absolute top, at the expense of every other part of your life. I mean, there's a whole bunch of interesting psychological issues that come out of this we could talk about another day. But bottom line is, I agree with you, is that if you think you're going to skate to the top, you're not. And to get to the top or to the upper middle comes with some disproportionate effort from you and risk.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Happy?
Otherwise, everyone we're doing 9 to 5 and everyone's running the company.
Yeah. And also 9 to 5 is fine if that's what you want.
Totally fine.
Right? But don't be expecting 7 to 7 rewards for 9 to 5 hours. You know? Okay, good. Okay, that's great. That's a great start. You happy with that start?
Yeah. Just had to hold me back on the conversation that could flow from that, which we're not going to have.
I'm going to say this is the absolute not negotiable when taking on a leadership opportunity. Okay, so let's say you have an opportunity in the next 1 to 5 years of your career to take on something, leadership management, like, you know, even more junior level to really senior level. Before you accept that role, managing 2 people, managing 2,000 people, there's one not negotiable. What are some things you might think of?
The money. The money. Your team. I actually know the answer to this, so I don't.
Tell me the answer.
Setting where the accountability lives.
What's a successful set of outcomes? What are the expectations?
Do I get a prize?
Right, because everything you talked about is right.
A prize?
No prize. Your prize is that you're right. You get to, golden box chocolates. So all the other things you mentioned are absolutely right. You need to know the hours, the commitment, the stage of the company, all the things that what they're trying to achieve, all that as a business, the money, the rewards, all this stuff you need to know and pick your own team. But that all flows down from what are the expectations of me in this role? What does success look like for my team? And how is it going to be measured? Mm-hmm. That's the not negotiable.
Why is it so risky not to have that in
place? What a great question, Laura. Oh my God. It's like you've done this before.
So many I'll tell
you why it is so dangerous to not understand this, right? If you start in a leadership role, this level or that level, and you don't have aligned expectations of what the team is, every day that goes past that you're doing what you assume is right and they're getting more and more resentful that you're not doing what an inch a day in 30 days is 30 inches apart, in 60 days, in 90 days. All of a sudden you're so far apart that you can't win. Yeah. And they're resentful. And everyone's like, what's this person doing? Like they're out here doing this, they're out here doing... Because you're doing what you think is the right thing and the business has a totally different expectation of what you were supposed to have done. where if you had from the start, and these are difficult conversations, by the way, because most companies are hopeless at communicating what they think success should be. Oh, just go in there, step up, be a good manager, lead the team. It's like, what does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything, right? So it's like, no. Who are the customers or clients or products that we're looking to develop? What's the margin? What are we chasing? What's our cost base? How many people can I hire? How do we reward people? Like, what does it look like? If we're here in 1 year and 2 year and 5 year, are we popping champagne or are we, the other thing? And it's like, if you don't know this, you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're also setting yourself up for some gaslighting crocodile from hiding in the shrubs back there to come out in 3 or 6 months and take you out at the knees, because they can say, oh, this person over here is not doing. Oh, they're not doing very well, are they? And you're like, no, I'm doing great. And oh, you sure? Like this, you haven't done this and you haven't done that, and that's part of the. What do you mean? No one told me that. No one wants to hear your excuses that I didn't know the expectations.
Yep.
Right? So the not negotiable of any leadership role is to understand the expectations of the role, the team. What's a successful outcome look like? What do you think of that?
Love it. Put a bow on it. Beautiful.
Have you got any further thoughts on that one?
No.
I was going to raise a funny topic. I read something, a headline of something. It was the rise of the LinkedIn philosopher king.
Philosopher kid.
King.
Oh, king. Oh, God.
And it was, I didn't read it, but I read the title, The Rise of the what is it? The LinkedIn philosopher king. I was going to throw this ball to you and say, do you want to have a swing at it? But I think what we'll do is we might actually...
I was crossing the road and I saw a 3-legged dog and it got hit by a tram, and I walked over to look at it, and it made me realise our KPIs for this quarter are all wrong. What is going on with those posts?
I was walking down the street and I saw an old woman. Excuse me, I'm telling a LinkedIn philosopher king story. I was walking down the street and I saw an old woman, and the way she was clutching her bag reminded me of a picture I had seen from the 1930s. And that was the reason that I went and decided to invest in this crypto.
I'll tell you what's worse. What is worse than those diatribes are the comments.
It is such a self-congratulatory circle jerk.
Oh, wow, this is so insightful. Dude, that I actually think they're worse, the people that comment on it.
What's hard for me now is that, like, LinkedIn was bad enough. LinkedIn's really useful to me, like, from approaching that sort of thing, like, although it's a bit of a cesspool. But the self-congratulatory circular stuff, always, I'm just like, does anyone actually read this slop and actually want to do it? There's 2-3 people I follow on LinkedIn I really like, and I love the way that they, like Mark Ritson's one of them, the marketing guy, did that mini MBA. He's unbelievable, right? And he actually takes the mick out of everybody, which is like, he's a real person. Yeah. And there's a couple of other I won't say, but they're very good. But broadly, you're right. It's like, now it's even worse because all these AI slop, ChatGPT junk, they're like, oh, and you can see, because the formatting, right? You can see it. And then all the people are responding as if someone's actually put any thought into this at all. But this is great. I kind
of understand why it is so dry, because it's a professional.
Yeah.
And, especially if people are in their own, like they're employed and they've got...
for all the reasons, yeah.
Right? Like, it is hard to break out of the mold and have any real personality or take a risk in your LinkedIn profile and your comments and your posts, because you're outwardly presenting for your employer.
So I'm just laughing, thinking of all the funny things I've seen, like the people who come up with like the fake job profiles of all these companies that have gone under. Right? It's like 1 month, redundant. And it's like, all these companies that have folded. Anyway, so... it is banal. It is very banal. That's the right word, isn't it? For a reason.
Yeah.
And everyone's afraid to take a risk, of course, right? Because you don't want to be like But it's really strange how that site has become almost a microcosm of self-congratulatory mediocrity. Like, there's really smart people on there.
Yeah.
Right? But they won't risk posting something because it's like, for what? For what purpose? Mm-hmm. But then occasionally someone breaks through. Anyway, we need to take a break for our sponsors, okay? Our sponsors. Will we ever have sponsors?
Yeah.
I don't think we will. I don't know.
We've got one lined up.
Well, I know we've got options for sponsors. I'm saying I don't know if we want to do it. We've got to make that decision.
Because you want to say whatever you want to say.
There's a variety of reasons, which we'll talk about off camera. All right, we're back from our sponsor. I've made an executive decision.
Okay.
You have done some posts on this book.
Yeah.
48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Have you actually ever listened to Robert Greene speak?
Yeah.
Like have you listened to audiobooks of these as well?
I listened to audiobooks.
Did he do it?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard him like freelance
But
podcasts?
I don't know but sorry. When I listen to audiobooks, it doesn't sound like the person's voice.
Because you do it at what speed?
Well, it depends on the voice, but maybe like 2 times.
2 times.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of posts about this, and they've been you've had a lot of response on this, right? And you have read, or you've at least listened to this book, right?
And I've read, yes.
I just said to go, so I haven't read it, but I actually have, I've read it, but I've never sat and read it at once. I've read it in blocks. I'm going to open a couple of random pages.
Well, hang on. Let's talk. Can I say why I wanted to talk about this and why I think it's a good
Tell us why you want to talk about 48 Laws of Power.
Because sociopath's manual and all this, this gets a really bad rap, this book.
Yes.
Okay. My view is this. We live in the real world.
Yes, we do.
The real world includes things that we don't like so much but those things affect us. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure why we should put the blinkers on and ignore them and pretend that they don't exist.
That's naive, yes.
This book, regardless of where you're at in your life, is useful for 2 reasons. One, it can give you some really great ways of conducting yourself and strategies if they align with your values.
Yep.
Okay? Because some of them don't align with my values, and that's okay. I can read the whole book.
But you know what else this does?
Well, hang on.
Sorry. Yeah.
And then the second thing is it makes you alive to how other people behave. Yeah? So I know I'm going off topic. I'll give you a chance to read us for us to chat about one of the chapters. I don't understand how people, when they're talking about a text or an author or anything or anybody, get so hung up on one small aspect of the book or the philosophy or whatever.
Or the personality type.
And then write off the whole thing in its entirety. It's really strange to me. It annoys me a lot.
I know why. Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
People have a map of the world, their version of everything, right?
Yeah.
That they haven't had to work very hard for. They've often just been fed to them, right?
Yeah.
And then they learn that, a bit like the LinkedIn thing, they learn that staying in the herd is the best, safest, like the zebras also want to stay in the middle, right? And so they stay in the middle, and if they can find any reason to push something to the outer edge that keeps them in the middle, they'll grab it.
Yeah.
So they don't have the capability or energy to read
but it's just such
the whole
shame.
thing. No, it is a shame, but welcome to the real world. Talk about the real world, Laura, though.
And also you're closing yourself off to having interesting thoughts and conversations with yourself and others about concepts. Because, things aren't black and white. I've said before, I read Dr. Gundry's book about gut health.
Yep.
And he says at the end that we shouldn't eat meat. And that doesn't align with
we disagree with it,
how
right?
I choose to live.
Yes.
I don't then get his book and burn it and say, well, all of the studies and all of the information in this book is wrong and terrible. No,
there's great stuff in there, yeah.
It was an excellent book, excellent research, excellent data. But I don't like that aspect of it for me, and that's okay.
So it's about tribes, and the shortest road to tribes is to have ins and out groups.
Yeah.
And if you read, you know what? And this is the funny part. I could give you 5 examples right now, but they would just be lazy viral tricks, because if I mention any of these 5 names, it's going to cause controversy. So I'm not going to do it because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Right. So look at this book.
Yes.
Not random. I looked at a few. Here we go. Okay. Despise the free lunch. Mm-hmm. Well, I obviously agree with that. There is no free lunch, right?
Nope.
So what is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. 100% true. Mm-hmm. What has worth is worth paying for by paying your own way. You stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. It reminded me I have to pay for something. It's also often wise to pay the full price. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating, for generosity is a sign and a magnet for power. Even if you just picked up this book to read that could change your life.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. There are laws in here I do not like.
The one I talked about recently was about keeping your hands clean. And the way it's described in that book is basically sending out scapegoats to do your bidding and blame them for the wrongdoing. You get the upside, but your hands are clean. I don't agree with that.
But it's a tactic that is done every
For
day
sure.
by politicians, by business leaders, by team managers. Oh, yeah, go out and tell this person this, right?
It happens, but I don't need to subscribe to it.
But like you say, it keeps you aware to the fact that it exists. Pose as a friend, Rule 14, Law 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. Knowing about your rival is critical. Use spies to gather valuable information that will keep you a step ahead. I know people like this, by the way. Better still, play the spy yourself. In polite social encounters, learn to probe. Ask indirect questions to get people to reveal their weaknesses and intentions. There is no occasion, there is not an opportunity for artful spying. Well, I obviously agree with all of that, right? But not for necessarily nefarious reasons. Anyway, I don't want to go through all these books, but I'm interested in like your response. You've read how many do you reckon you've done?
I don't know, like maybe 20.
20 or 40.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do them all?
Nah.
Right, so you sort of moved on. Of the 20, what was the split, do you think, on positive, negative? Do people understand what you're trying to do?
I would say more positive. I often preface a lot of my posts on this one about wearing a critical thinking hat and taking what we like and leaving what we don't.
Yeah, great.
So I think most people who came across it had the presence of mind to realise that even if they had a strong objection to the concept, that wasn't really the purpose of the conversation we're having around, as in when I was presenting it, I wasn't putting it as fact or that people should go and do these things.
Which is manipulative in itself.
But there was one which was, never appear perfect, right? Never appear perfect. And the spin that I put on it was that I don't like this for women. We're constantly putting ourselves down. We're constantly apologising, saying, look, I tried on that report. I didn't do the best job. So I was like, this is not for us. I would much rather you go out in the world and demonstrate that you're perfect and hold yourself out to being perfect because this is not a problem.
You'd rather that than the other.
Right.
You're both not right, but you'd rather that than the other.
And then I did have one comment, of course it was from a man, that was like, but we're all imperfect and we shouldn't shy away from it and this is wrong and you shouldn't be telling people to pretend that they're perfect. And I said, no, he said it was naive. And I said, I don't think it's naive for me to be discussing the experience of women and my views on how women walk in the world and how women should walk in the world. I don't think it's naive for me to talk about that. And he doubled down.
Of course he did.
So that annoyed me, but anyway.
Because map of the world, right? These people have a map of the world.
But I wasn't talking to him. When I said this is not for us as women, I'm not sure what makes a man think that.
Do you know what his map of the world is? Laura, that you should not think that. That's his map of the world.
Now I'm even more angry.
Right? And you've pricked that map. What is this woman telling me this for? Right? Now, this is tiny percentages, right?
Yeah.
But there's people out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's people out there. Plan all the way to the end. Law 29.
That one.
That's elite. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following.
I don't think I did this.
People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Oh, wow.
That's true.
That's for sure. Become the focal... It's an orange man who's worked this out. Become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. Mind you, there's 500 of these people right now in politics, in public eye right now.
I'd say more.
Like global level, tier 1. Keep your words vague but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality. This is every leader of the Cold War era. Oh my goodness. Give your new disciples rituals to perform. Ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. In the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief system will bring you untold power. I mean, that is basically like Leninist, Soviet Union sort of early era, and then Stalinist stuff particularly, and Maoist even more so, Colour Revolution, and basically getting the kids to rise up against their elders, like giving them a new cause. This stuff actually works, and this stuff drives revolutions if done correctly or incorrectly. Anyway,
so imagine not wanting to know about it because it's a scary book.
I recommend everyone read that book, and like best case is you understand all of it. Worst case is there's 3 or 4 that you pick out. You don't have to read it in a line. You can do one.
The best part about it is that
pick it up at any time.
I loved it as well because Robert Greene uses historical stories to explain the concept.
Does, yeah.
So it's also like a little history.
He's
Every
a good writer.
chapter is he's a brilliant writer. It's so interesting to read. You can't sit down and just read that for hours. I find it a little bit heavy for that.
I think he's been quite unwell in the last few years. I think he had a stroke, something like that,
sad.
and so his life's been limited significantly.
Right.
But I've heard there are quite a few podcasts of him out there at length, hearing him talk. Anyway, no, I'm glad we covered that. Now, okay, best time for babies. Here's another little note I've got from you. This is hilarious. Just keep that mic a little bit in line with you. Best time for babies. What's the prompt here?
There's no best time for babies.
Well, there's no perfect time for children, that's for sure.
No, the context is this week I shared that, on TikTok and Instagram, I'm starting to try to have the conversation around career and motherhood.
Tricky business, yeah.
I'm very nervous about it. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm trying to tread carefully. It's one of those topics that it's very easy to upset people.
But that's not the reason. It's so damn complex.
It's
that's
complex,
why.
but also I don't ever want to make any woman with children or without children feel guilty or judged or wrong for any choices that they've made in respect of motherhood and career.
Yep.
So
they're all right.
The reality is it's sort of like the same thing with parenting, that something in us, because we so want to believe that what we've done is perfect and correct, that if you hear somebody having done it another way, it is, your brain does something it's a challenging of what you've decided, and a challenging as if to say, well, you've done it incorrectly.
To be very clear, there's none of that from you.
No,
but
if it doesn't,
but it can be construed that way. I understand. Yeah.
So, and also, I haven't landed perfectly on every single concept and topic. I'm still working it.
So maybe we won't do it now.
No. But anyway, when I kind of threw it to the group and said, how do I have these conversations? I know we need to have them, but how? And so many women were really supportive, really asking, please do this. And quite a lot saying, just talk about your own experience.
Yep. That's all you got really, isn't it?
You can't get that wrong,
Yep.
So I thought that was really good advice. And so I kicked off this week with the conversation about what I think's quite unique about, not unique, but it's rarer in that I've had children 10 years apart.
Two different seasons in your life, yeah.
Two very different times in my career. And so we had that conversation, and what came out of it in comments, and then so many DMs, so many DMs like, oh, Laura, I'm in my first year, or I'm about to finish this, or I'm coming back to it later in life, and my one child is 2. Should I have one now? Or,
that's no pressure on you at all.
Or I have no children. I'm trying to work out how it's all going to fit. And it's just fascinating how we all desperately want there to be some map of we can follow, some list that says this is the best moment. This is how you make that decision.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't exist. You can't, there's no one size fits all answer to this question for women. I'm just talking about women, as to when it is the best time in their lives working around careers to have children.
Yeah. But everything else too, by the way. If you want to travel, you want to do this, you want to do that.
Right.
All the stages of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, I think for me, my experience was very different, being, a very junior lawyer with my first, and then an established lawyer with my own business with my second. Very, very different. Yeah. I felt much more confident with my second, more in control of my career.
Ow.
You're all right.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm just breaking things.
Did you? Is the table okay?
Yeah.
So with my first, it was scary. When I came back, I wasn't in control of my workload. I felt torn. I was needed in the office, needed at home. With my second, I was in total control.
Yeah.
And I could be more available for my kids. But it's funny because if I was still in a law firm at the time my second was born, I would have been around that sort of very senior associate to partner stage, all things being equal. And then maybe that would have been a terrible time for a baby. But I don't know. You just got to make these decisions and hope for the best.
Yeah, it is. There's so much leap of faith in it, regardless, you know.
If it was easy, no one would ever be talking about this. It would just happen, and there'd be no, you know, every single time in your life with children, it comes with different complications, different balancing acts, or different sacrifices.
Kind of off topic by an inch. I wish it was a little bit easier.
I agree.
I think we do have our policy settings wrong. I'm not going to get into it now, but I think we could make it a bit easier. Another, you know, and also you got parents/grandparents who, you know, when you're young having kids, they're young, and if you're much older having kids, they're much older. Their ability or inability to help, and there's all these factors.
Some people don't have the family
or have
support.
family at all,
Yep.
right? But that's not age dependent. There's so many factors. Would you just say? I mean, I would say there's just no perfect time. You do the best with what you got, and you understand that for that period you're in it together, hopefully together, and you lock in and you just do what you're best for that period of time, and then you know that one day the fog's going to lift, and you can get back on that career.
But I think
path.
when you're making these sorts of decisions or planning,
good luck.
Yeah. You need to, especially if you're in a partnership, obviously, together you need to decide your family values matrix where your individual and collective values are decided and agreed before you make these decisions.
Sounds like setting expectations before taking on a leadership role.
Exactly.
No shit.
Exactly right, because... You know, and I also made a post this week where I had to hold myself back to not get too grumpy. But, you know, especially lots of young women asking, how do I balance my relationship with my, like, really intense job? And I'm like, well, you know, the kind of bias in me is going, red flag, are these male partners, not wanting these women to be working long hours, and they expect them to be home so that they can cook them dinner or go to the gym with them or whatever.
That's a very big leap, but yes. Obviously that exists.
But the point is this, if you're in a relationship, you need to be having conversations about what do we expect? Like, I don't think people have these conversations enough, and then
Agreed.
The woman has the baby, thinks that they're going to be supported at some point in the short to medium future to return to a career they love, and they get zero support from their partner who pushes on with their career and says, no, mine's more important.
Yep.
And of course, by then maybe they've had 2 extra years working that mum's been home with kids. So they have
4 or 5 or 6.
So they have progressed. Yes. They are making more money.
Yes.
And then the squeeze is on mum to say, well, it doesn't make sense for us financially to let you go back to work, right? And I don't like that.
No, I agree.
I don't like that. I think that you need to agree early on, what do we want this whole picture to look like? How do we achieve your goals and dreams, your goals and dreams, our financial goals, and raise our children in the way we want to? Again, that's something you've got to decide.
I wonder what percentage of couples have that full conversation. I think not many, but I will say I know a stack who have done this really well. Right, who have done it exactly how they wanted to do it, and they've evolved over time. You know, I think you can't discount on it when, and this is where it comes to where a lot of women get off the runway when it comes to CEO, partner at a law firm, whatever, is that you get maybe have 1 child, 2 child, and your priorities change.
Yes.
And you cannot calculate what your priorities will be 4 or 5 years after your first or second child. You can't.
No.
Right? So you can't bank on that. What you can do is say that this is right now what I plan to do. Do we agree?
Yes.
That if I'm going to go and do this, and which I want to do, of course, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to be able to pick things up again in 4 or 5 years, and you're going to back me.
We had this decision before our second.
Yeah, and you were working the next day in the hospital.
But there was more about, it was like, this is what our partnership looks like.
Yes.
As 2 parents, and this is my expectation.
And we stumbled in the first little while.
Yeah.
I stumbled, I would say. As in, I didn't get it right the first 3 months or so, right? And then did get it right.
Yeah.
But for the first few months, definitely did not get the balance right. Definitely put more on you than I should have. And then woke up and got back in the game.
Yep.
And then you got to allow for that in each other, right? You got to allow for the fact that one or both of you, sleep deprivation, who knows? We've got friends about to have third. He's petrified because sleep, they're getting 2-3 hours at the moment now.
Yeah.
Good luck. What happens if the other one comes along? And you're just not the same people. So you need a robust agreement, because if you don't, you're not human in the first couple of years sometimes if your child doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a really good topic. I think we've managed not to step on any landmines.
Have you got another topic to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? You bored?
No, I've got another. I had another segue.
A side topic. Okay. 4 ways you can be secretly manipulated that can be hard to see, but once you see them, you can't unsee them.
Okay, I'm interested.
I'm going to throw these at you.
I'm listening.
Number 1. In fact, relevant to some of the things we were just talking about. Weaponized incompetence.
Oh, God.
Now, this happens in workplaces, but this also happens in relationships.
We know that, yes.
Yes. So, I come to you, and I'm like, oh, Laura, you're so good at doing these reports. I'm no good at them, I've got all this information. Can I email it to you? And you put in one of those flash reports that you do. Now.
That's flattery too. Have you got that on your list?
No. Forget about flattery. If you can't see flattery, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Right? If it's your role to do that, right, to put those reports, no problem, right? That's part of it. But if that is not your responsibility, if you are not, I know there's parts that you're going to be triggered by in a moment here. I'm going to throw the ball to you.
Okay.
But if someone brings
We don't
you
get triggered.
their stuff and says, oh, you're so much better at it, or they do it badly on purpose so that you'll say, oh, I'll just do it. Mm-hmm. And I've seen this in workplaces. You have no idea how many companies I work with. I see this and I'm like, weaponized incompetence. If you see someone coming to you, you're so much better at this. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, can you help me? And you know they're not a person of goodwill. They are secretly manipulating you. You have to see it.
Love it.
Right. Number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2. This is a surprise one. I think you might be surprised. Nasty humor.
Okay.
A lot of, usually men, very insecure, will use nasty humor and then accuse you of not having a sense of humor.
Wow.
But what they're actually doing is packaging their insecurity in nasty humor. Oh, it's just a joke. Ha ha ha. It's just have a laugh. You're a this, you're a that. Oh, we're just all having a bit of a gag. It actually is an undermining tactic.
Right.
Right? And these weak, insecure, gaslighting types, they will use nasty humor as a shield to put the knife in your side. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Can you recall?
A lot less now.
True.
Let them try, Christian. Let them try.
I think that's true.
Days.
That would be very funny.
But no, definitely when I was younger.
Do we have time for 2 more? Super producer? She's asleep. That's okay. Projection.
Okay.
Now, this is not what I'd call a intentional manipulation, but when you see someone accusing you of something that you know they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. That is called projection. Yes. And let's say politicians do this all the time. They will say, oh, the other party, they're taking funding out of this, that, and the other. You should look exactly in their backyard and see that that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Find me something they're accusing me of, and I'll find you something that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So someone will project their insecurities, their doubts, in themselves, right? Let's say they're worried that their spouse is cheating on them in their marriage. They'll accuse people around them of cheating in their marriage, right? Like it just spits out of them and projects out of them. So if someone's projecting their own doubts and insecurities onto you, it is a unconscious, I'm not blaming them for it, way of manipulating you. And once you see it,
manipulating you to not see it in them.
Yes, they're trying to manipulate you away, but they're not. By the way, this is not a conscious manipulation, but it is a manipulation.
Yes,
they're not consciously going, "Oh, I'm going to make them," but they're actually it's projecting out, and that in a way is a defense mechanism.
I'm totally on to board with that. Anytime anyone is saying something negative about anyone or anything, my immediate response and process is to then say, okay, Why are they saying that? What are they nervous about? What have they got an insecurity about?
Oh, that person, they don't fill in their things properly, the finances, and you're like, what's going on with the finances, buddy? Let's have a look at what your manipulation is. Okay, the final one. This is my favourite one.
Your favourite?
Because it's so fun.
Okay.
Is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is when a person, sometimes very skilled at it, will take a tiny bit of truth this big and stretch it into a story about something that's not true.
Yes.
Okay. So, again, it's easy to go to politicians, but let's go into a workplace. Let's say that you are an emotional person occasionally. Let's say that you work your butt off and sometimes you break down in tears, right? A gaslighter will take that, that person breaks down. They're a bit emotional, aren't they? But your work is phenomenal. But sometimes you get overawed.
Yeah.
Right? The gaslighter will, behind your back, sneak around. Saw them crying again the other day. They can't handle the pressure. They're not up to it. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Those gaslighters, they will take a tiny bit of information. They'll stretch it into a narrative and they will sneak around and undermine you. And that is why you must have the perfect most pristine backyard when you're surrounded by a gaslighter.
Yes, please don't cry in the office, girls.
But it's not about crying. It was just an example. Like a politician will stand there and say, we're investing $5 million in this thing, right? It's a wonderful investment. But reality, the need is $5 billion.
Yes.
And they've stripped $3 billion out, right? Gaslighting you. Electricity prices haven't gone up, when in fact they're just putting subsidies on them and pretending. So like all these things they're just lies.
But it's also just intended to create doubt and confusion.
And undermine.
In the person and think, am I wrong?
Anyone saying electricity prices going up is a monster, is a liar, right? Hang on, it's right here. No, that's from a fake information, right? Look over here at our information. Tiny skerrick of truth. So gaslighters are very dangerous in work settings because they often are very good at getting to a level of seniority. If they have the favoritism of the most serious senior leadership, you probably can't win. Like if you're going to try and go head to head with a really experienced gaslighter, you probably can't win. So it might be worth thinking about moving on, quite honestly, because what will happen is, it's like there's a saying in cricket, which is kind of half a saying, is that you can bat well all day, but a bowler has to only beat you once, right? And in a work setting, it's a bit the same. You can do weeks and months of great work pursuing what you're trying to do. Clients, customers, product, and one gaslighter can wait you out and drop one hand grenade in at the right time to totally detonate your career.
Yes.
Right? And so that's why you just have to be so careful taking these people on. And that is 4 ways you can be manipulated secretly. Once you see them, you can't unsee them.
Love it.
What do you think about that?
I enjoyed it.
What's your little side? You got a side note? We got time? We got time for one more? Okay, we've got time for one more. Super producer Charlie's saying we've got time for one more. What do you got in mind?
Maybe it's just the start of a conversation, but
nervous.
Something I was thinking about from this perspective of the conversation around if you're with somebody, you don't have children, you're starting your careers, working out early on that they're going to support you and all of that, because a man is not a financial plan.
Yes, you should make a T-shirt out of that.
I didn't coin the phrase.
We can still make a T-shirt.
I think it's so important, and people won't like this, but I have always had a view that even if you are in a partnership, a marriage, a relationship, if you are choosing to have children, each individual in that relationship should consider themselves wholly responsible, alone, for that child, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Interesting.
Could you be wholly responsible?
Financially, time, parenting.
And so when I'm thinking about that in the context of young women who are starting their careers and then they're with a partner that's like, no, you're going to stay home with the kids. I'm going to put energy and effort into my career that I love.
Yeah.
We're going to put all our eggs in my basket and you can stay home forever. That's lovely while they're there. So I think that's a longer conversation, but it's something that I certainly have experienced. And I'm glad that I treated, you know, myself and my career as being necessary so that I could do what I've needed to do in the past.
This is a great topic, and we're going to continue it later because I think we're actually out of time. So what have we got? We've got a man is not a financial plan. By the way, I totally agree with you. The divorce rates agree with you.
Not just divorce rates. People's careers change. Like, you shouldn't rely on one person to be the only person that has capacity to earn.
No, I agree with entirely. Just thinking through contingency, and also things change, and also whatever else, but also the divorce rates. Like, just simply, they tell you that you have to think through what might happen.
And you can't go around being like, well, they're a parent, they're responsible too. That's nice if you can get them to step up. Yeah. Like, if you're divorced, you can jump up and down and say, well, they've got to meet half of the costs and the labour and the time involved in raising the kids.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. Go and ask Child Support Australia how much you'd get.
No, just ask any person who's been within cooey of a divorce themselves or anywhere else, and they'll tell you exactly what the probability is.
I think you're in fantasy land if you think that the shoulda, shoulds, the coulds, the whatevers are going to actually save you as a woman if you end up being a sole provider for your kids.
A man is not a financial plan.
Man is not a financial plan.
Now, what it is to be, just to take a little bit of poison out of it, is to say setting it up correctly, being open and honest and like values based, like thinking about setting it up correctly, is important.
Yes.
It's extremely important. And things are going to evolve, things are going to change, but if you have a basic framework that says, this is where we're going, we're doing it together, if this happens, we do this, if that happens, we do that, we might have to shrink, we might have to whatever, like, we do it knowing what we're getting into.
Yes.
I think, like, you know, obviously millions and now probably billions of couples over the history of the world have done it well. But,
so well.
But it's a danger if you think you're just going to wing it. You're just opening yourself up to trouble.
Yep.
You're just opening yourself up to trouble. So man's not a financial plan. Do your value statement before you get started. And what else do we talk about? Leadership, you've got to set the expectation. What did you say?
Right time for babies. Working hard
to make it. And also subtle ways you're going to be manipulated. We talked about Robert Greene. We've covered a lot of ground today, Laura Racky.
We have. Very efficient of us.
Is there anything else you would like to say today? Like I said, there's nothing happening in the world. There's nothing really to talk about.
Nothing I want to talk about what's happening in the world.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Sorry.
If this was a one-man podcast, it would be a very different conversation.
You do your one-man podcast just
on TikTok
when you're walking around in the world.
In my brain.
Yeah.
I just talk to myself. Okay. I'm going to use my favourite way to stop. Let's just stop.
Is that going to be the new catchphrase?
No, I'm just going to do it to
Let's just stop.